What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be learning how to find long-term targets on EOS and of course going over the total market cap. So let's get right into this. Going to go ahead and start with the total market cap here as we have continued to push above this line. Again, we just have to wait for an actual rejection to finish drawing this line. This needs to reject at some point, this price, and when it actually does, then we can line this line up and know that it's flipped around, kind of similar to how you see these occur on the left, how it rejects and then falls back down, rejects again. That gives you a trajectory to draw that line. You've also got this rejection and these rejections along here. So we're kind of trying to build that same symmetry right here with this line. You guys, the levels really haven't changed. If we can get above the 143 level, and if we start to push really even above the 137 level with volume, this is going to look better and better for the bullish end of the perspective here. We really only have to get above this resistance before we have price discovery for quite some time until there's resistance again. There isn't that much resistance for quite a ways. Most of it's just empty space. So there is a lot of upside potential right here upon a breakout. By the way, happy Friday, everybody. We've got a bunch of coins popping off really nice right now. Yeah, Engine coin is also up 71% currently, and that is quite surprising. It's doing phenomenally on the 24-hour change. So this is Engine versus the dollar, and as you guys can see, it's done a very nice pump since its all-time low here. If we take our price change percentage tool, so far about 676% off the bottom. You guys, everybody is constantly saying, oh, crypto's dead, but then there's coins that are doing 679% in the period of a few months. So really, you have to understand that there's money in this market and it's moving around every single day. And here's Ripple back in the day around 2015, where it did this specific accumulation pattern, and Engine is setting up in the same way currently. What happened to Ripple after that pattern was a breakout to a new all-time high, and then it retraced back down to the 618 and continued to see upside movement. So Engine could be setting up for a bigger picture move on the upside, especially if it starts to get above some of these all-time previous highs. That would be pure price discovery, and it could go significantly higher from there. The ABC correction is still playing very nicely on the total market cap for the altcoins, and we've got a wedge that kind of formed from April all the way down into December of last year, and it's broken out from that and gone sideways with increasing volume. We're also still near these major support zones over here on the left-hand side. We can just take this, make it green to match the color structure here. So this zone is a good spot for us to see some type of breakout or retest of a lot of the resistance that we formed along the way down. Before we go into EOS, let's just check out some Bitcoin prices as well. On the 2-day candlesticks, we did finally close on that 2-day candlestick, and it kind of closed as a bullish doji. So that means that the candlestick has 50% and 50% with the wicks. So you've got, this is the center of the candle, the body, and then you've got a wick that is about right in the center. So that's a bullish doji candlestick right here. And it just means that if the next candlestick closes bullish, then we do have some more momentum on the upside, because this is an indecisive candle, meaning that it opened and closed at a very similar place, and then we had all of this very even price movement in between that time. So the next candle kind of confirms the short-term direction of the trend. So I got requested on how to find price targets for EOS. So this is something that I like to do on the big picture market cycles. As you guys know, I don't necessarily play all these little moves, or not very often. Sometimes Bitcoin will propose an opportunity or two to go short or long based on some short-term swing trades, but really for the most part, I stick to the big picture market cycles, especially with altcoins, because they retrace significantly harder than Bitcoin does. They fall a lot larger percentages. So the best thing to do is really focus on playing those big moves with the altcoins, because then you can buy when they're ridiculously cheap and then sell significantly down the road when they're extremely overvalued and parabolic. So this was Ethereum versus the dollar back in 2016, and I like to look at this as a comparison because it's a very similar accumulation pattern to what we're seeing in EOS currently, as it sets up in the same market cycle and fractal. And when we go from a low to a new all-time high, generally what you do is you use the trend-based Fibonacci extension. So you go from the left-hand side to the peak of the cycle, and then pull down to the low where it generates a trend back on the upside. So what we do need to see have happen here is a breakout above that resistance level, and then for it to fall back onto support to develop that upside trend, that move on the upside. But you would use these Fibonacci extensions to set your targets for the next cycle on the upside. As you can see with Ethereum, what ended up happening is you break out and it starts going parabolic, and the trend starts to see higher highs, and this is where it really does a lot of price discovery on the upside and makes the previous cycle look very small. So I like to use at least the 1618, the 2618, and you can actually double click on this tool and you can add more. So you can click on this 5.618, press OK, and then you have an even higher price extension here. So again, the tool is over here on the left-hand side, trend-based Fib extension. If we do the same thing to Ethereum and click over here, we can take the trend-based Fib extension tool right here, go from the low to the peak to the recent low. And as you can see, this would have been some targets along the way up to be selling some of your Ethereum tokens at. So here's an example of EOS right next to Ethereum, the 2016 thing I was just showing you, and kind of a potential that could come out as EOS flips around here and starts to make higher highs and higher lows. We do need to see a lot of momentum come back in and more volume similar to what we saw right here in Ethereum, but this could be a similar pattern and market cycle in these two coins. And just to show you some examples of targets that I've used in the past for their market cycles with this tool, here's Stellar Lumens back in 2017 when we entered down near the bottom of this market cycle, and then once it started to reverse with volume, added a bunch of take profit zones significantly above it using the trend-based tool. And as you can see, even though the price did go even higher than that, you still got out with a very nice profit using this as a tool for targets. And same with Bitcoin right here, the trend-based Fib extension. We knew that we were setting up and there was another market cycle coming. Didn't know exactly how high it was going to go, but we were using these targets. This one was 15,000. The 5618 was 18,000. So all of those targets would have been very close and near to where the trend reversed with Bitcoin. But the thing with targets is you're not exactly trying to get the exact top. You're just trying to scale out with profit. Really, as a trader, you don't want to perfectly play the exact reversals of every swing. You're just getting in when things are undervalued and getting out when they're overvalued. And you really don't want to get greedy trying to be exactly perfect where they reverse. And with Litecoin, you would do the exact same thing. So this works on multiple coins. You just go from the bottom all the way down to where the market cycle reverses, and this would be your targets for the next market cycle, is in these Fibonacci extension zones. So that's what I use for the big picture. If you're trading short-term swings, then all you have to do is go ahead and use Fibonacci, not the trend-based Fibonacci tool, so not trend-based Fib, but just Fib retracement. Go from the low to the high, and you would use these, the 95, the .88, the 618, as places to place buy and sell orders for when the trend is going back on the upside if you're playing some of these short-term swings before you even get to new all-time highs in any of these coins. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Make sure to follow me on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. It's all below in the description box, and I will see you guys in the next videos. As always, stay profitable out there.